Alright, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star video, and with the first half of 2.4 just about to end, a little over a week away, meaning the Yunli banner and the Boothill rerun will be gone, and upcoming will be the second half of 2.4 being Xiaochu and the Sparkle rerun. I wanted to finally have my final impressions on Yunli, and that's really all I gotta say before I get to the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and let's get straight into it. So, again, it's been almost 2 weeks since Yunli did drop because banner's last 3 weeks, and since then I've used her literally every single day. I've used her with different types of supports, I've used her on different types of teams, just on the regular follow-up team where you have someone like Topaz, Aventurine, Robin, and then Yunli. I've used her as a hyper carry with something like Sparkle, Robin, Boothill, and then her, or replacing Sparkle with Tingyun, because I actually got my Tingyun up finally for this character. And so I've used her dual DPS, I've used her hyper carry, I've used all kinds of stuff. And honestly, I am extremely shocked. Like, my expectations were blown out of the water. Because originally, I did know she was going to be really good. Like, if you go back to before she was released, I knew she was going to be good. I knew she was going to be the Clara replacement. And I knew her damage numbers are going to be high because, come on, her ultimate gives you 100% crit damage dealt for just having the full thing. Having inbuilt self-sustainability and also gaining energy for being attacked. The ultimate also having a full-on taunt. Everything just playing together, I knew it was just going to be really good. And then the early access stuff kind of was happening, sort of looking at that, seeing what she does, where she works. Before I got a chance to actually test myself, and I'm like, alright, she seems really, really solid. Then she actually came out, and I had so much hope for her, to the point I literally just went straight for the E2. I didn't like get her E1, get her Lycon, and just test her out like that. I just went straight for the E2. I was able to test her at E0 elsewhere by taking a friend and another account. So with mine being E2 S1, I've tested her at E0 S0, E0 S1, and literally on every single level, she has just shocked me. At E0 S0, it is slightly more rough because you don't have the Lycon that actually gives you the taunt, or I should say extra taunt. But to be fair, you know, Harmony supports are gonna get hit anyway, so like, who cares? But even then, her numbers have been really high. With the E0 SR or E0 S1, both of them just having easily getting up to 200k plus damage per counterattack, 300k. All really depends on the other supports used. But it was very, very consistent damage, very easy damage. And she is also just really, really easy to use. She's not as brain dead as the other AoE characters because the only thing you do kind of have to pay attention to is the enemies attacking you. Because obviously you don't want to spam it and just have Intuit Slash proc more than Intuit Cull. Because Intuit Slash is significantly weaker. And even though she does have a trace that gives you a safety net, if you get one into a slash, the next one is guaranteed to be into a cull. Even if you just rely on that, it's a big drawback to the damage, so you almost want to be timing it. And the only like part where you have to kind of pay attention to is having the ult right before an enemy attacks you, which is very easy. You just keep your eyes open. Obviously, there's times often where I like mess up and I forget an enemy's gonna attack here or not. That part is kind of what the safety net's for, in my opinion, since sometimes you'll be like, oh, the enemy will attack you and then decide to do something else when they're usually attacked. They just kind of decide what to do there and then. So the trace safety net there is really helpful for those kind of situations. And once again, just because you have to actually sort of pay attention, not just mindlessly clicking, there is some skill with it, so that's nice. So nice little interactive character. And yeah, at E0 S0, completely fine. At E0 S1, better because you do have the better chances to get hit. And besides that, you do have a pretty big increase to follow-up damage and a nice increase to crit damage. Because again, supports on your team, the Harmony supports, I don't know what it is, they always get hit more. So like high key, the greater chance to get attacked, they could take that out and it'd probably be the same thing. But with their internal kit being so good, once again, being able to just have a regular blast counterattack off the bat, being able to have an ultimate with into a cull being really hard hitting, and also having the taunt in the ultimate so you're guaranteed to get hit and proc that into a cull. When it does all play out and you have the proper supports, it just does so much damage. So the whole thing about her being kind of this Clara Pro Max, and people are like, oh, I have Clara, there is literally a waste to get Yunli. It's honestly, my whole view on that now is I think that's a little put out too much because I think the gap between Yunli and Clara is quite large. Clara, don't get me wrong, still really good. And I do agree with if you have a built Clara, you do not need to get Yunli, but that does not make Yunli worthless at all. It doesn't become this, oh, this is a guaranteed skip mid character because I already have Clara. Because the damage Yunli can do is just so much higher. She also has self-sustain, a guaranteed chance to get hit. The thing that Clara does have over is when the ultimate is up for Clara, anyone on the team can get hit and that can be retaliated with a counter, but that is also only 2 times. It is easy to refresh that, but like still with Yunli having a inbuilt full-on taunt and also being able to regenerate energy before getting hit, along with that having self-sustain and having damage that is practically double the triple Clara's damage, she is just a lot better than just a Clara Pro Max, as people are saying. Like, once again, if you haven't built Clara, she does the job just fine. You don't need Yunli, but I think people shouldn't belittle Yunli for what she does because they have the same role and they have the same playstyle pretty much. Yunli, I think, is a very, very big gap from Clara because Clara's damage is solid, she does the job well, but Yunli's damage is just that much better and she can get stuff done so much faster because she can just kill everything so much faster. So that's sort of my view on the whole Clara Yunli thing. And then the final thing is talking about her at E2, because if you guys don't know, mine is actually E2 S1. So I've already talked about Ezer S0, Ezer S1 doing the damage completely fine, but E2 S1, my god, her damage is insane. Like, you beat these two dupes, you're like, alright, the damage is gonna increase a lot. But honestly, I didn't expect it to increase that much because I already had mine doing a lot of damage, then I got to test the other ones, and the gap was pretty big. I also watched my other friend, who arguably at the time had a better build than mine, and just because of the E2, mine just felt like it was doing double the triple the damage anyways because the two dupes are broken. If you guys don't know, her first dupe does increase into a slash and into a call damage by 20%, and also increases the damage instances for into it call by 3, and then her E2 allows 20% of the target's defense to be ignored when dealing damage via a counter. So you put that together and you're like, okay, it's obvious that she's going to do a lot more damage because you're getting 3 extra hits on into a coal. The increase of the damage is by 20%, and now you're also ignoring 20% defense. And as we know, defense ignore, extremely good. But just seeing the damage skyrocket that much, like once again, watching my friend, he was dealing around 100 to 200k with his better built Yunli at the time. And then I was just using mine, which again, obviously in this case had the worst build, but had the E2, and mine was doing like 400, 500k. And I was just like, what the hell? And she is just insane, just an absolute monster. Just get hit into a cold procs and just half the boss's HP is gone. Anything on the side is just gone. And especially with the team of Ting Yun, Boothill, Robin, and Yunli, the amount of energy you're able to get thanks to Ting Yun and Boothill, it is so insane because it just feels like you're cheating because you're just practically always having you're able to always direct the attacks towards Yunli so she can get into a call. And then thanks to Robin, you're also able to do additional crit damage, additional damage dealt. You're able to do the additional physical damage that procs from Robin, giving attack percent, just everything playing together on that team with those 4. It honestly just feels like cheating because honestly, originally I didn't want to get my Ting Yun up for Yunli. I just said I'm just going to keep it to Sparkle because my Sparkle is E2, so more defense ignore. The crit damage is really nice because I do know with Yunli the crit damage does get diluted a little bit, but it's still a big damage increase in the end, so I was like really happy with it. But obviously Sparkle could be used on better teams, and so I'm like, okay, if I build Ting Yun, she's only really going to be used on this team, so I'm like, you know what, I'll go ahead and do it. And I got some lucky relic luck just to get her out of the way. She doesn't have a crazy build, but I did also max her ult and skill, and then together obviously the output of the damage she can do is a little less because obviously Sparkle gives you such a big crit damage boost plus the defense ignore from the E2. But even then, with Ting Yun on the team, the damage from Yunli is still in the 400 to 600k range, and now I'm able to ult even more because of the energy Ting Yun provides. So this team just with an E2 Yunli is just, it just feels like I'm cheating because it's just so easy to get the ultimates and then proc the Intuit call and just absolutely obliterate the map, and it is super fun. And so as you can't tell, my final impressions is I'm extremely happy with the performance. It's beyond my expectations. And now the better question is if she is my favorite DPS right now, and I'm gonna have to say she is definitely tied for my favorite. My other favorite is still Boothill, which is funny. Both physical DPSs that have come out, both of them are my favorite DPSs. Because with Boothill, obviously just the satisfaction, just so fun, single target, all that kind of stuff. It's just so fun with Boothill. So it's really hard to top that, but I think Yunli is definitely tied, if not a little bit below Boothill. But for the most part, I want to say they're tied. It's just so fun seeing the big sword slam down on the enemies and just seeing 500k, 600k, 700k, 800k damage. And honestly, I even did like a 3 support run where I managed to get Yunli to hit 1.2 million on the Argenti boss, just him, and it just killed him. He was gone, and it was just insane. But yep, that is the video. That is my final impressions on Yunli. Once again, as you can't tell, very, 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 very happy with the performance. Beyond my expectations, way better than I thought she would ever be, and I do not regret getting the E2. Definitely was a great idea on my part for my own enjoyment, because those 2 dupes are insane. So I was like, I definitely want to try for it. Got them. Don't regret it, because again, the damage up is insane. So if you guys did go for Yunli, let me know if you guys are also enjoying her as much as I am, because for the most part, from what I've seen, anyone that did summon for Yunli honestly has around the same opinion as me. They think she's absolutely fantastic. So again, let me know. That's the video. Peace out.